Hello everyone, thank you for coming back to my video. Today's video I will tell about a seemingly perfect wedding between Jack and Tien, but no one attended. No relatives, no friends, not even a single blessing. What happened? What made the wedding so quiet? And the truth that has been hidden for so long is finally revealed. Let's uncover this haunting secret together. The sky gradually brightened. The first rays of dawn filtered through the foliage, shining through the bedroom window. Jack opened his eyes slowly, his breathing slow, his gaze still hazy. The dream was still vivid in his mind, each image engraved in his memory: the white wedding dress, the brilliant flower arch, and the cold, empty rows of chairs. He sat up, leaning against the bed, his eyes looking at Tien, who was still sleeping. Her sleeping face was so peaceful, her long eyelashes fluttering with each breath. She was right there, alive, honest, and warm. But that dream made his heart skip a beat. Why didn't anyone come? Was it because they didn't accept it? Or because they never truly believed in his love for her? Jack sighed, feeling an undercurrent rolling inside him, not because of the lack of crowds, but because it reminded him of the isolation, the invisible distances that both of them had and were overcoming: family, public opinion, prejudice. Although they were happy now, he knew that the road ahead was still not smooth. A moment later, Tien gently turned around, opened her eyes and looked at him. "You woke up early? Is there something wrong?" Jack turned around, smiled, and reached out to gently stroke her hair. "No, it's just, I dreamed of a wedding. You're very beautiful, you smile a lot, but no one came." Tien was silent, her eyes slightly darkened. She understood. Jack didn't need to say anything more. A moment later, she squeezed his hand tightly, then softly said, "Just having you by my side is enough. If no one comes, then we'll bless each other. Our love doesn't need anyone to judge." Jack looked at her. In those eyes was a strong belief that moved him. He pulled her into his arms, hugging her tightly, as if to erase the silent echoes in the dream. In that moment, he silently promised, no matter how many empty chairs there were, he would always be there, always by Tien's side, until the end. Jack tightened his arms around Tien, clearly feeling her heartbeat beating steadily against his chest. Outside, the sunlight had begun to shine through the canopy of leaves. The birds were chirping, signaling a new day. But in that small room, time seemed to stop, leaving only two people and the sincere emotions spreading. Tien leaned on his shoulder, her voice as light as a breeze. "The day I left my hometown for the city, I never thought there would be a kind, gentle, patient man staying by my side until now. Everyone used to say I was stupid, believing in things that weren't true. But now I believe, I truly believe." Jack gently bowed his head, whispering into her ear, "I also never thought there would be a day when I would love someone this much. Love to the point that just seeing you smile would make all my fatigue disappear." They sat like that for a long time, without needing to say another word. Out there, life was still noisy, still full of unpredictable things, but inside this moment was a deep silence. An understanding that needed no explanation. A moment later, Tien looked up, looking at him with a determined gaze. "If one day, you and I really get married, I don't need a crowd. I just need your mother to smile, and I can hold your arm and walk. That's enough." Jack smiled, kissing her forehead lightly. "I promise, no matter how many empty seats there are, I will make every step you take filled with love." Outside the window, the sun had just lifted the clouds to appear, like a sign of the beginning. And in their hearts, there was a silent but sacred wedding, where there was no need for hundreds of witnesses. Because just two people believing in each other was enough for a lifetime. The sun rose high, the scenery gradually changed. Scene change, from that warm and peaceful room. Now the image of Jack standing alone in front of an empty plot of land nestled among green bamboo groves. This is the land behind the farm, where he once told Tien, "Building a house here, you can look out over the fields, see the sun in the morning, and hear frogs singing lullabies at night." But today, he stood there in silence, his eyes pensive. A simple house plan was folded into four in his hand, the corners of the paper slightly crumpled from having looked at it over and over again. The wind blew gently, stirring up a thin layer of dust from the ground. Jack closed his eyes, took a deep breath, then quietly said as if to himself, "There will be no more unfinished dreams. I will make the dream come true, give you a house. A real family." Behind him, soft footsteps echoed. Tien appeared. She stood next to Jack, handed him a glass, then followed his gaze to the horizon. "Are you really going to do it?" she asked softly. Jack nodded. Not just intending. I will do it, no matter how difficult it is. I want you to live in a place where every morning when you open your eyes, you feel secure. You feel like you belong. Tien was silent. Her eyes filled with tears, but her smile was infinitely gentle. She didn't need anything fancy, just a man like Jack, a small corner of the house, and a sky big enough to sow hope. The wind blew again, carrying the scent of young rice from the fields in the distance. That peaceful scene seemed to signal a new chapter was coming, no longer a vague dream, but a reality that was gradually taking shape. After many days of sick leave, Jack finally returned to his usual work today. The sun had not yet fully set, and morning dew still lingered on the bamboo leaves in the fields as he drove to the construction site for a villager who had placed his trust in him since the early days of his move here. The pickup truck stopped in front of a large plot of land, where the house was gradually taking shape amidst the red soil and piles of construction materials. The sound of hammers, sawing wood, and the workers' chatter echoed loudly. He got out of the car, wearing a simple shirt, his shoes still covered in some country road dust. Jack's here, a worker called out loudly. A few others looked up, waving warmly. Jack smiled in response, then quickly headed to the main construction area. He checked each item, how high the wall was, whether the foundation was solid, whether the pipes were placed according to the design. Even though he had just recovered from an illness, his eyes were still sharp. His hands carefully turned over the drawings, meticulously comparing each parameter. A moment later, the homeowner, Mr. Nam, also arrived. He was thin but agile, wearing an old conical hat. He walked over and patted Jack on the shoulder. Thank you very much. This house is the last wish of my wife, and I with you taking care of it. I feel very secure. Jack smiled gently, his eyes looking at the house that was gradually taking shape in the peaceful countryside. Don't worry, I will make you the most solid and cozy house. I won't let you lose out. That statement was not only a professional commitment, but also a promise to himself. He would not only build houses for others, but also gradually rebuild his own life, solid, rooted, and spacious enough for true love to reside. In the afternoon, after leaving the construction site, Jack drove home. On the way back, he stopped by the small market to buy some fresh vegetables and a bunch of white chrysanthemums, the flowers his mother loved. The gentle afternoon sun stretched across the village road, the light passing through the leaves creating sparkling golden streaks like sprinkling honey on each step of the car. As he pushed the gate into the yard, Jack heard cheerful laughter coming from the kitchen. He slowed down, stood behind the door, and quietly observed. In the small kitchen, his mother was busy with a pot of soup, while Tien was trimming vegetables, her hands moving quickly, her mouth telling something that made her laugh out loud. Those two women, one gave birth to him, raised him with all her love, and the other came to him, silently sharing and caring for him through the stormy days. Now, they were together, as if there had never been any distance. Jack stood still for a few seconds, his heart suddenly choked by an indescribable feeling. Not a noisy happiness, but a deep, quiet happiness that made people want to remember it forever. There was a time when his life was unstable, lost, and he felt like he no longer believed in anything. But now, in that cozy kitchen, he had found a home not just made of bricks and tiles, but of the hearts of two women who made him feel luckier than ever. Jack walked in, raised a bouquet of white daisies, and said with a smile, "Today, our family will have a small party. The construction worker is very tired and needs special care." Both his mother and Tien turned around. The mother laughed. "There will be a party, but there will be no catering." Tien looked at him, her eyes sparkling and warm. And in that moment, Jack knew, even though life was long and there were many unpredictable things, with them by his side, he needed nothing more.